Hey guys, couple of things to talk about. First of all, let's get the little one out of the way first. The other day there, PlayStation Access, decent channel, decent videos. They released a little video where basically they were saying, here's a whole bunch of half-price games and much shrunken games, and some of these games are cheaper on PS Plus, yada yada. Their usual sort of store update kind of video. No problems there. However, there was one that did make me wonder, and I did phone Sony to confirm, but unfortunately they could give me no information. So you may have to do a little digging, I don't know. I tried to dig. I've been trying to get hold of EA to confirm this. You can hear when I said EA, that was already a warning sign. Basically, on this sale that they're doing, they're selling you a fairly cheap version, I think it's like £4 odds, for Burnout Paradise City, which is a good game. It was a fantastic game back in the day, and I think it still holds up now, given that so many games still pick and choose bits and pieces from that, and you can see it in the DNA of a lot of other games, especially the most recent Need for Speed games. The last 2 or 3, they've taken a lot from Burnout Paradise City. Anyway, as some of you may be aware, that those of you that really like your PlayStations, that it was at least, 3 years ago, maybe a little less, that they turned the servers off for Burnout Paradise City. And now they're selling it on the PSN. Now, I asked a young man in the Sony office when I finally got hold of one. Nice guy, by the way. Thanks, John. You did good information. You treated me well. Anyway, little shout out. I asked him, would EA be turning servers back on, or have Sony got control of the servers for the game, and will they be turning them back on? And unfortunately, he was not able to tell me one way or the other, which is not so good. You need to let us know these things, Sony. It's sort of like, if you're going to be selling a game that is pretty much 50-50 online and single player, and if you've had the game before, trust me, you know, the single player is done. I have done the single player to death. It was great fun. And most of that was left was the multiplayer. And, you know, towards the end it was hard times finding somebody to play against because everybody had moved on. But it was still a good game. Anyways, if there's no multiplayer for that game, it's not so hot. But you need to let people know. Will the multiplayer mode be on? Will the server be working? You can't really sell a 50% online game, you know, and not give people this information. Anyway, that aside, the main crux of this video. PlayStation Now. I might put an annotation in there if I can be bothered. Anyway, PlayStation Now, a really entertaining concept, because after all, we all know that Sony bought the Gaikai technology and Gaikai themselves, and we're going to start doing streaming games. And this is going to raise some interesting stuff, because people were always like, oh, the PS4 is not backwards compatible, but then other people were also going, oh, the PS4 is, you know, it's going to be emulated for backwards compatibility. It's like, okay, that's cool. And it seems what they're doing is with the Gaikai service, streaming PS3 games to PS4, and apparently it will also eventually get PS1 and PS2 games, you know, on the PS4 through the Gaikai service. Now you're going to be renting the games. Now I'm wondering what kind of rental models they'll have. Will you be able to like rent the game like one payment and it's yours forever? Can you only rent them for, you know, like little chunks of time and have to continually keep shelling out? will Plus subscribers get a discount? And most importantly of all, will third-party support come into this? Because, Sony, back in the PS1 days, they made a shit ton of games. They made a bunch of games in the PS2, PS3, obviously. They make a lot of games. And if all these games are going to be available... Oh, I wonder, hang on a minute, they never mentioned PSP. A whole bunch of PSP games. Does that mean you could use Gaikai to play PSP games on your PlayStation 4 or on your Vita? Or even your smartphone? Because after all, the Gaikai service that PlayStation now is going to be PS4, Vita, ready Bravia TVs, and the next coming generation of smartphones. Probably stuff like from the Z1 upwards, I would imagine. I don't know about other companies' smartphones, but I know about Sony's. Yeah, that's a thought. Anyway, the main thing is with the third-party support, are they going to do that? And I would certainly hope so. Because if you read enough forums, you'll find there's a lot of people going, when's GTA 5 coming to PS4? And I don't know if it's worth it coming to PS4 because, okay, yeah, it will look more beautiful, but we've already all played it. And we're all willing to shell out 60 quid for a game that pretty much most of us have played and completed. I think what would be far more sensible is maybe not GTA 5 itself, but GTA Online, to move through the cloud, through Gaikai stroke PlayStation Now, onto PlayStation 4, because then all the save data is held on Rockstar's server. So you don't have to worry about moving all your save data over. Because not everybody is a PlayStation Plus subscriber and has the ability to save their data. But even if they do, then bring Grand Theft Auto 5 over, bring your save data. But what I would like to see, and I think this is important, and Sony, please listen to me this, because if you did this, I think you'd definitely shift a lot more subscriptions to PlayStation Now. What you dearly need to do is anybody that has a physical copy of a game, right, you give people a registration service where they can phone up or email or whatever medium you decide, or mediums you decide, where they ring in, phone in to whatever, or use internet, do it through the PlayStation, whatever you choose, to give you some sort of way, like maybe using the barcode on the back of the box, or I don't know, you figure something out. You guys are clever. Where you give them the details from the box, and they give you a code that knocks, let's say 50% off owning the game outright on PlayStation Now. So let's say you've got, let's pick a game at random. What's a good game? Yeah, let's say you've got Assassin's Creed 3 disc format, okay? And you want to buy the digital version for PlayStation Now. Excuse me. You want to buy the PlayStation Now version for your PS4, so you're all ready to roll. You would contact Sony in their prescribed manner or manners, give them details from the disc. Then you would obviously, by recorded delivery, it would have to be recorded, because then there'd be the whole thing of, it got lost in the post. Did it get lost in the post, or did you not send it? Blah blah blah. Send it off, and then when they've got that, then they send you a code that then knocks it down. So let's say Assassin's Creed 3 is selling, for outright sale on PlayStation now, let's call it, say, 20 quid. And then it comes to, you get it for a tenner because you've given them the disc back. So then for Sony, that disc isn't floating around in the second-hand sales market, and they've got another game that's gone to another consumer, which means they have to have their online going, if it's a PlayStation 4, so they'll need the PlayStation Plus subscription. So I think, for Sony, if you're going to do that, that'd make a lot of sense for you. Now, there are some games that go, oh, I don't like PlayStation Plus, and I hear you. For the longest time, I didn't like PlayStation Plus. I only got it when I got my PS4. But it just turned out to be worth it. Mostly because I've actually got a lot of stuff from my PS3, but, swings and roundabouts. But here's the thing, okay? You've got to make this appetizing, Sony. You've got to make people want it, okay? So I think you need to do a thing where, like, actually better still, get into partnership with Game, right? Because then Game can issue the codes right there and then. People walk into Game with their game and trade their game in for the code. And then they go home and they'll spend money on buying PSN credit in store, come home with the PSN credit and their code, pop both in the machine, Game makes a sale, you make a sale, everyone's a winner. It's fantastic, actually. That's a bloody good idea. Hey, if that turns out, Sony, gets a piece of the action, alright? Anyway, so I think that's what needs to happen. There should hopefully be third-party support, and if there isn't, try and be as flexible as possible with people that already have had a copy of the game. Like, I've got some PS2 games and some PS1 games knocking around the house, and I've also got, like, I've still got my Grand Theft Auto 5, which I'm never getting rid of, although I do need to do a lot more with it. I'm only like level 19, whilst my brother-in-law's like level 128 or something. And then again, Regulator Crew for the win, because they're just amazing. And you better watch out all the use that comes up against Regulators, because he's done. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on PlayStation Now. If you have any thoughts on PlayStation Now, please feel free to share them in that comment section down below. And also let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about in these videos. I greatly appreciate your input. And as so many other YouTubers would say, please remember to rate, favourite, share and subscribe. Because, that's how a channel grows. And now that I'm up to 20 subscribers, thank you, by the way, to those last few people that have plopped in. That's wonderful of you. I just want to say thank you. That's grand. Keep passing me around. It's like, surely other people might enjoy my content. Anyway, I shall close this video in the way that I always do, with my usual signing out. Aye. Hey bother.